Hi, I'm Luke Scherveld. Welcome to another episode of Meet the Gaffer. This is the second in a series of 4 about Kino Flo, and this is about manufacturing.
As a manufacturer, there are challenges every day, and having done this now for 32 years, it's an ongoing challenge, especially in today's market. Supply line chains are getting more and more critical. Back when we started, the offshore sourcing of components was not as prominent as it is today. The fluorescent world, I was able to keep everything pretty much here in the US in terms of all my suppliers. So when you have suppliers that are close by, it's easy to manage them, and it's easy to have a direct relationship. As we've seen over the last 30 years, this evolution of electronics, a lot of the small components that go into electronics being manufactured offshore, for good reason at the time, because they were being offered free factories basically to build this stuff. And so it absolutely makes sense. We're now at a point where the technology is so rapidly evolving that it does get to be challenging to stay on top of it and to also manage these suppliers. So with that come also capital costs that are more than than if they're local. Because now you have to anticipate shipping times, you have to anticipate possible model changes on components, which can be a real hassle. Because now when you have one component within, say, a piece of electronics that changes and it now affects other elements, that puts a strain on the engineering department to juggle all those demands. It ain't easy. So hats off to anyone that can manufacture a bunch of equipment and keep it consistent, on time, and maintain the quality. And for us, we have to source all of our own components. We don't want to job it out to another company because we lose control over the key elements that build reliability into the product. And for us, any downtime on a set is a real issue. When a production is costing 120 grand a day, losing 10, 20 minutes on the set because of malfunctioning equipment is not acceptable. So for us, maintaining control over the entire supply chain, maintaining the quality standards is absolutely paramount. And with that comes, management systems, the right people, and the right processes to manage it all.
Samuel Art, Director of Manufacturing here at Kino Flo. I work with the company for about 5+ years and counting. So basically, this is where we do our wire harness assembly. This entire section is dedicated for that. It all starts with the simple drawings that are given to assemblers, and you can see we have steps indicated, we have bubble notes indicating the wires, the lengths, the crimp types, and any additional instruction they might need. So after evaluating those drawings, the machine is set up to process the wires automatically based on the quantities we need for each job. So at this stage, machine is cutting the wires and stripping the wires to the length specified in the drawing, and it's all basically stored here in the machine. So for each job, we don't have to set up, we just recall the file, if you will, and machine is running the job. Now, after this is completed, we will have an inspection process that verifies the first run, and after that, each 50th, because if the lot is too large, for example, sometimes we process thousands of wires, we want to make sure all the wires are inspected in a batches of 50. So if mistake happens, we just focus on the 50 that weren't made correct instead of wasting the entire lot. So from there on, the wires are going through the next process, which is crimping. So let's go, I'll show you that, guys. This is where the crimping happens. We have several machines set up in order to handle multiple jobs if we have. But basically all the reels are specific to a specific crimp, which goes to a specific wire, which is again specified on the drawing. And as you can see, the inventory right behind us, so we're also trying to save some time from walking too far and bringing it apart. So it's all right here where it should be. Now this machine is currently working on a process. Let's go ahead and see that. As you can see right now, all those wires are identified for the job, and each of the end is ready to sector crimp of certain type. So right now that's what we're doing here. Can I have a wire? Just one? And one more finished. There you go. So this is before, and that is after crimping is done. Again, after she completes the job, those things will be inspected again. Make sure the height, the crimp strength, and all that is within allowed parameters. Thank you.
Details.
Yes, yes. After crimping is done, the next step is to place the wires into correct pins, which we call pin assembly. So that will be done on the other section, and I'll show you. Here is the long table, because we do have some wires that are 8 foot long,
Yeah.
4 foot long, and so
for
forth.
fluorescence.
Yes. So right now the assembly is taking place again according to the drawing. The ladies, putting the wires together, the harness. And after completion, we also test the wires, which is the tester right next to her, and we call it a buzz-out test. So basically we are trying to make sure everything is assembled correct and the wires is pretty much working and it's done according to the drawing. So once the wires are done, they're undergoing 100% quality inspection, and I can show you where the inspection station is for the wires. So this part number, here's the job order, revision level, quantities, and a date. So we keep a lot of every single harness that is made, because those wires will go to stock and then will be recalled back for the job that we have to build. So everything is logged, everything is documented, and now the inspector is going to go ahead and inspect 100% of the harnesses that were made here. There you go. Now, let's talk about assembly. Of course, right behind you. The setup is for flexible manufacturing. As you can see, we have specific tools. I'll show you. We can probably, let's see, we can zoom in on some of the stations, and you can see each tool is identified. If I'll pull them, you'll see 5.5 millimeters or 5/16. Those are specified tools, and everything is matching the drawings when it comes to assembly instructions. Now,
what units are being put together here?
every single thing that requires electromechanical assembly is built on this production line. Yes, at this point, lady is testing the lead assembly for image L80, which is our latest and greatest.
And what's going on up there?
She is testing to make sure all the functions are working, all 4 panels are working, because eventually the product is going to run multiple panels, and we have to make sure the output is correct and all the functions are in place, including the software, the DMXing, and all the other controls and parameters as well.
I got it. So is that the Image 80
The new one.
that you can swap out?
Yes.
It's the same technology. It's 4 panels being operated by, is it 2 controllers?
Yes.
And so the 2 controllers have to be tested against 4 panels, because you have 4 different things that have to be operating. So whether or not it's the L80 retrofit kit or the Image L80, which is a finished product, it's the same test. It's the same technology. There's no difference.
Cool.
And assembly of the lead starts here. Right now we have a job. This is for the smaller product. This is for L40s. There you go. That's a smaller version. That's what we have only 1 controller. We have the job order, the quantity specified, each operation, and ladies over here are performing assembly. Station number 1 and station number 2.
Yeah, when somebody asks a question about the image fixtures, the Image 87 or 47, that's a fluorescent. That's our legacy technology. We're still, of course, producing that. That technology is slightly different than the LED version, which is the L80 and the L40. The L80 and L40 are the same, similar light output, same softness qualities and so forth. But of course, they have all the features of the 2 white light LEDs and all the RGB technologies built into them. So they are compatible with, or work alongside, the Freestyles and alongside the Diva lights and alongside the Celebs. The fluorescent version of the image fixtures, we still manufacture that, and we have a very similar manufacturing process, but they're not the same product. One is fluorescent based, one is LED based. So different manufacturing process, yeah, for sure.
Now, complete fixture comprises of different parts, and as you know, Kino Flo widely uses the plastics for the barn doors and so forth, so I'd like to show you where it's made and how it's made. As you can see, we're approaching a sector where we have a lot of heavy machines, presses, and other machinery, and I'll be happy to show you what we do here. The job order for mounts is almost completed, and it's going to go again through 100% inspection before it gets packaged. Now, here where we produce our plastics, that's the raw stock. That's where we start. From the raw material, 2, gauging a machine and cutting it to a precise size according to the drawing. Once it's done, and then we put in the slits through it, so we can accommodate the Barlow function of that. After that, the next process will be to punch the holes where they should be to put the brackets and the bolts and nuts and whatnot that goes there. So that is done on the machine right behind you. This is our press, which is currently not running, but basically we'll place the plastic here, we push it in, operator presses the pedal, the press comes down, we get the holes into place. It's basically we have many dies to accommodate different patterns, and right behind you, Scott, we have the dies and we have the part numbers for each. Again, that is called out on the job order, so we know exactly which die goes for what product. So once the holes are done, the next process will be, coming over here, this is the next cell, that's where we install the clips. Once the bracket is done and assembly is done, plastic, oh, there we go. It's undergoing, at the same time, it's undergoing the process of putting hinges, which is done on any of those 3 machines, depends which size of the rivet we have to use. Once it's done, once the hinges are into place, and then we'll install the gooseneck, which basically holds the barn door in a position as you open up, and so forth and so on. So this one is the first one of the batch. It's just past the QC, which means everything else is okay to go. So we're very cautious when it comes to what we call irreversible operations, because once you pop the holes into place and they're not where they should be, you don't want to scrap the entire batch. That's why we're absolutely going through the first process of approving, and then we're again going in the batches of 50, because sometimes we make plastics quantities of 500 or plus, and again, we don't want to waste the plastic as well. We'll go for the batches of 50, because again, machines can break, parts can get loose, and we want to make sure we capture those things before we go for larger scale. What makes Kino Flo different is most of the employees over here, I would not mistake if I say probably 50% plus. Been here for about 10, 15, 12, 13 years, which I've spoken really highly when I was going through the interview process, which means the company is really people-oriented. The environment over here is very laid back, but very sensitive towards the production schedule and the customer requirements. That's probably to sum this up. As far as the processes, there is always place to improve. It's not the end destination versus the process of continuously improving. There is no end to it. The minute we settle down, that's when we probably set ourselves for failures. That's why you have to constantly monitor for the processes and improve. Along with the processes, we're paying a lot of attention to ergonomics to make sure that people are comfortable doing the same or repetitive things day in and day after. I was never exposed to this industry. It is quite different than a regular standard manufacturing industry. And I think the biggest difference, I would say, is over there you build to stock in most of the companies, and the stock is sold. Over here, we do have build to stock on the most popular items, but we are focused mostly to the customer requirements and customer orders. Once the order is in, you have to make sure the order is done by the due date, so you don't have much to skip there. And the quality comes, above and beyond everything. So you have to make sure the quality is there and the due dates are met. So that is kind of challenging. In other companies that I've worked, you don't have much of that because, as I said, the orders are processed from the beginning of the year. Production schedule is established. Everybody knows what they should be building every month and so forth. It's more of a planning and scheduling versus here, it's more of a reaction. The order comes in and we jump and make sure it gets out the door. What we have here, this is the finished product that is kind of laid down on the table because the QC is going to come and going to inspect every single one of them before they go to a shipping department to be packaged. This is our new flagship Image L80s.
I think you have to remember is that the QC process also is part of the certification that we do for our product line. It's CE, ETL, UL, and so forth. We have those certifications on our line, so that no matter where it goes in the world, you don't have to call. Nobody's going to call the fire marshal and go on the set and say, "Hey, what are those lights up there?" They don't have proper certifications. A lot of times in our industry, things are a little loose that way. We think for safety purposes and so forth, it's really important to make sure every single detail that he's shown you so far, all the way through the certification process, is a part of every single product we make. That's kind of hidden, it's invisible. People don't think about that because they're worried more about the color quality, the light source and so forth, and its flexibility and the lightweightness and those type of features. But these things that people don't think about a lot are very critical to what makes Kino Flo different, say, than the guy down the block who's putting something together in his garage and putting it out on the set. And you've seen also, Sam was talking about all the precautions they take here to take care of our employees. That extends to the corporate culture and to the products that we make. So. just worth noting, I think, because people can't see that by looking at it.
We have a process called burning, which many companies do. What we do is we're stressing the product, actually we're powering up the product, and we use 3 to 4 hours on primary voltage. And if it's going to go out to Europe, and then we'll reverse that, we'll do 3 or 4 hours of primary voltage for the country that's designed to go to. So basically, we're doing 3 hours of primary voltage, and then 2 hours of alternate. So if it's a 120 product, we'll do 3 hours of 120 test, and then we'll perform another hour of 230, or vice versa. And let me show you where we're doing the test. God damn, everything is custom made here. Yeah. This entire building is glowing at dark, if you will, because we have so many products. So right now we have 2 carts. There is cart number 20 and cart number 2. So the yellow cap indicates that right now it's undergoing the burning. Once it's done, we'll replace it and we'll put the green cap on it. If we look at the cart number 20 right behind me, it's today's date, cart number, there's a job order number, the voltages 120 and 230. We started 825 out at 1025, so 4 pieces are done. This is still undergoing the process of burning, and we have exactly 4 products. And this card is going to be ready at 12:25. The QC is going to be here at 12:25. So, checking the time. We got 15 more minutes to go. So, it's all, as I said, everything is documented. Every single thing is done the way it should be done. Once the product is burned, the QC will be joining us over here, and they'll be basically checking all the functions on the unit, all the Carl spectrum, the DMX function, and then after that it's going to be recorded on this computer. We're going to record the data for each panel that goes through this product, and then we're going to log it with the serial number, and we're going to archive it for the service purposes, for traceability, and if in case we have to address some challenges and we have some issues there, which is, we have a database, but never really tapped into it because
Never know.
yeah, you never know, but we never use it either, which is a good indication. So what we have here, every single product that is built, tested, and passed QC, it comes over here for packaging. This is where we have our packaging operations going on. Right now, those parts are being packaged, the controllers are being packaged. Again, the papers are processed, and then from here, they're going to go to finished stock, and then from there, they're going to get shipped to the customer. Based on the order information.
How is this guy allowed to work here?
I don't know.
He loves
He's
it.
not there anymore.
Well, right now
That seat
it's
is empty for a reason.
right now it's lunchtime. That's why you don't see a lot of employees over here.
That's true.
But
You
generally,
don't have to be a Rams fan?
pardon me.
You don't have to be a Rams fan?
No, you have to not be a Patriots fan. I think that's the main rule.
Well,
Oh, but there's diversity here.
that is correct. That is correct. So you might see different screenshots in the different stations.
Yeah, I'm Scott Stickle. I handle sales and oversee some of the rentals for Kino Flo. And we're now in the rental department. Rental department is been a part of Kino Flo for the 30 plus years we've been in business. I haven't been here quite that long, but the rental operation is going strong, and it's going strong because it still serves the community, serves our customers in ways that we can't necessarily reach with just strictly a sales operation. Now, when I started here 25 years ago, most of what we did, admittedly, was rentals. And now, if you were to look at the entire operation at Kino Flo, where we're at on this campus now compared to where we were, 25 years ago in Pacoima, the rental operation there being most of the business we did is now the rental operation is just a fraction of what we do, but it's still a very important part of what we do because there's a lot of people who need access to Kino Flo products like Kino Flo Mega Flows and things that are legacy products, including mini flows and things that maybe are not in the general circulation now. They're not used as much, but there's still an application for them because a lot of our customers they're artists, so they have certain looks and they have certain qualities of light that they can't achieve with newer Kino Flo products. So for that reason alone, we have a rental operation that serves those customers. Then there's Kino Flo rental operations like a depot. So if you're a rental house here like your Warner Brothers and you have a lot of products on the set already and somebody says, I need another 50 or 100 of these Kino Flo celebs or these image fixtures or something like that, then instead of buying them, you come to Kino Flo do a sub-rental arrangement. That way the rental operation can service the customer, they can make their margins, and Kino Flo can keep the product, keep taking care of not only the studio customer, but also the end user as well. So it has all these different layers of import to Kino Flo that we want to maintain, not only just a rental operation, but maintain a very high quality rental operation as well. On Mondays, you come in here, there's students all over the place, or Friday, they're here because they do a lot of Kino Flo rentals out here through the universities, for the colleges, and sometimes even the high schools and so forth. AFI comes in and so forth, because we have special rental programs, packages just for students. So you get a basic package for like $75. You pick it up on a Friday, you drop it off on a Monday. It allows them to go through, do their projects, get their productions done. Has a really good rate for them. They get all the full Kino Flo service and warranties and everything on all the products that anybody else does, but it's at a package rate, at a price and a size of package that's really I think over the years we've really honed it for the students in the area here. People don't come from a long ways away, but a fair distance from Santa Barbara all the way down to maybe Orange County, we get students coming in and taking these weekend packages out. So very successful, still doing it, been doing it for, I think we've been doing it since I started here 25 years ago. We got the big ass fans, that's the name of the company. And they're very efficient. 2 of them do the whole floor. I love those. That technology is amazing. Before those guys came along, everybody was spending money on, I don't know, technology from the 1930s or something. So they redeveloped it so it's energy efficient and moves air around really well. Around me is just finished goods. This is the finished goods store here. We built this about, I don't know, 7 years ago. And it's in really clean condition because it's a new building. It's all earthquake proof and everything. So I have, guys are on lunch break. But anyway, they're usually out here packing. You see some things here, or they're starting to put them onto the pallets to ship them out. Here's the inventory. So if you go all the way down, if you get a shot all the way down there, to thy left and to thy right, and all the way to the end, that's all finished goods. I mean, there's a few places there where there's some raw, I think there might be some raw goods up on top. We used to stock a lot more on the shelf, but it gets really expensive. So like Sam was saying, we're doing more, over the years, we've done more and more build to order. So a lot of stuff you'll see here, and I couldn't give you a percentage, but a lot of this stuff, if you look down the row there, there's boxes there. Those are all spoken for, let's say. Some of the stuff higher up, which is like lamps, the Kino Flo fluorescent tubes, those are more of a inventory stocking thing. They're not really they aren't going out the door the next week. The stuff lower down tends to be stuff that's going out the door sooner. I have the Diva-Light LEDs here. I have the new L80 and L40 LED systems. I have the retrofit kits for anybody who has image fixtures. I want to retrofit them for like $2,500 up to the new L80 or the L40 LEDs. That's all here. That's ready to go. Tubes are here. I have the celebs, the freestyles. Then I have everything as fixtures, systems, and then as kits. So a kit is basically a system or fixture in a case. That's our idea of a kit. And then boxing is back here as well. All the kitting is done over here on the dock to my left. So the products that are here, they're not in cases. If somebody orders a kit, they'll pull a case and they'll pull a fixture or a system and they'll put them together and now it's a kit and they'll ship it out. Pretty straightforward. I mean, once you get to this level, everything's been built, obviously. It's been QC'd, it's been packed, it's been weighed, all the dimensions and so forth are in place. It's just ready to be labeled and shipped out. Yeah, boxing here. Over here, I'll show you something. It's not as active as it used to be, but it's worth taking a quick look at. There's Frieder's old Spitfire. No, it's a Spider. I don't know what it is. It's a Spider. I don't know. Take a look here. This is what he came to California in. This is, I guess when you come from Canada, this is your idea what you have to drive in California. So he's kept here. Yeah.
Spider. Nice.
It's our good luck charm. He used it a lot. He's a big guy too to be riding in that thing. Yeah. He kind of sticks out of it like a surfboard. Big German surfboard. So here we are. This is, yeah, as I said, there's nobody here. So this is the, we used to do, we still do, but not as often. We used to do our lamp coating here. We take a regular Kino Flo tube, put it in a safety coating, put the boots on it, pack it up. A lot of those are on the shelf already. Then over here, the only thing I haven't really talked about that you might want to take a look at is the repair and service station here. So, hey Mansour, how you doing? But Mansour does a repair and servicing here. And since we've gone to LEDs, repair and servicing, I think you're just still doing more repair and servicing on the legacy ballast and that kind of stuff?
We have some old ballast too.
Yeah.
Like real old. They
Yeah,
come
sure.
back and we usually change the
Sure.
ballast with the new ones.
Right.
And old style celebs
Yeah.
from LEDs. But for the new ones, not that many.
Yeah. I think a lot of the servicing we do is with the legacy products still, because there's still a lot out there. I mean, we were talking to Warner Brothers the other day about working on, they want to get some celebs and some L80s, and all of their image fixtures, several hundred of their image fixtures, are still out on the job. So there wasn't anything to bring back and do a retrofit on because they're using them. So something goes down, something's a problem, it's going to come back to Mansour. He's going to be the guy who does the repair or servicing or whatever the evaluation is. He's going to take care of it.
Cool.
Yep.
So tell me about diversity here.
Diversity speaks highly. Right behind you, you can see the flags representing every single nationality that we employ over here. It's a big family, big happy family this we have.
It's a little more challenging during the World Cup season. You know, you get a lot more activity down here regarding the World Cup, or less activity because everybody's
That is
taking a
correct.
sick day off to go watch their team play. But otherwise, the diversity works really well for us, I think.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. We're proud to have so many nationalities mixed and just, working for the same goal.
Yeah.
Make sure the company is productive, make sure we're successful, make sure the fact that it is made in the United States stands up for its name.